Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for standing by for the Four Seasons Education's fourth quarter and fiscal year 2020 earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in listen-only mode. After management's prepared remarks, there will be a question and answer session. Today's conference call is being recorded. I will now turn the call over to your host, Ms. Olivia Lee, Investor Relations Manager for the company. Please go ahead, Olivia.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fourth quarter and fiscal year 2020 earnings conference call of Four Seasons Education. The company's results were issued via Newsblog services earlier today and are posted online. You can download the earnings press release and sign up for the company's email distribution list by visiting the IR section of our website at ir.fijiedu.com. Ms. Joanne Su, our Chief Executive Officer, will start the call by providing an overview of the company performance highlights for the quarter. Ms. Xun Wang, the company's Vice President of Finance, will provide details on the company's financial results and business outlook before opening the call for your questions. Before we continue, please note that today's discussion will contain forward-looking statements made under the Safe Harbor provisions of the U.S. Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Forward-looking statements involve inherent risks and uncertainties. As such, the company's results may be materially different from the views expressed today. Further information regarding these and other risks and uncertainties is included in the company's prospectus as filed with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The company does not assume any obligation to update any forward-looking statements, except as required under applicable law. Please also note that Four Seasons Education's earnings press release and this conference call include discussions of unaudited GAAP financial information as well as unaudited non-GAAP financial measures. Four Seasons Education's press release contains a reconciliation of the unaudited non-GAAP measures to the unaudited most directly comparable GAAP measures. I will now turn the call over to our CEO, Ms. Su. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Olivia, and hello, everyone. Before providing an overview of our fourth quarter performance, we would like to extend our condolences to the families of those individuals who passed away due to the COVID-19. We are also profoundly grateful for the medical professionals, community staff, and all those people who have fought against the coronavirus at the front lines. I also want to thank all of our employees for their hard work and dedication that allowed us to overcome numerous challenges during this unprecedented time. In the fourth quarter of fiscal 2020, we achieved a revenue growth of 10% year over year, a solid performance in light of the COVID-19 epidemic in China. After the outbreak of coronavirus, we immediately took precautionary measures to protect our students and employees. In response to the government's containment, we swiftly transitioned our offline courses of all academic subjects to online classes, ensuring our students were able to take courses online. Our quick transition to online classes has allowed us to successfully retain the majority of our students who registered for our offline courses to study with us online. Concurrent with the course migration, we also provided a series of supplemental online services, such as the class replay, after-class question and answer sessions, and homework review, all in an effort to facilitate a smooth user experience for students and parents. Additionally, in collaboration with East China Normal University Press, we have officially launched One Lesson, One Exercise online courses for primary school students during the fourth quarter. One Lesson, One Exercise is a well-known and widely used reference book series. Our partnership with East China Normal University Press on the book series corresponding online courses is a clear testament to our curriculum development capability. This class series will also help us enhance our brand awareness to a broader student audience. Besides our online classes, in the fourth quarter, our technology team has also established a more integrated operational system that better organizes and streamlines our resource of teaching staff, learning center operations, courseware production, and technology. Such consolidated operations amplify the efficiency in our course development, class monitor, and internal training, thus set the foundation of an advanced online merging offline or OMO model. Presently, we expect to reopen the majority of the offline facilities in June following the guidance from the government. Looking ahead, we plan to continue providing a considerable proportion of courses online when our offline learning centers reopen and resume course delivery. Our online education provides students optimized learning experience and improved study results with unlimited course replay and diversified supplemental services. In turn, it will significantly broaden our outreach to the market and effectively expand our student base. As a critical front of our OMO strategy, we will also increase our investment in online infrastructure, technology, and content development. Overall, the COVID-19 epidemic presented challenges as well as the very moment where we have to accelerate the digital transformation of our operation to embrace online education. During this epidemic period, we have completely transitioned our academic offline courses delivery and realized seamless online operations. These efficient operational adjustments allowed a more cohesive online and offline model, which will definitely benefit our business development in the long run. Faced with extraordinary challenges brought back by the outbreak of COVID-19 in the last quarter of fiscal 2020, we successfully maintained the majority of our student base, sustained top-line growth, and expanded gross margin compared with the fourth quarter last year. Our resilient performances in the fourth quarter helped us conclude the fiscal year 2020 with a solid top-line growth of 16% year-over-year. Such results demonstrate the strength of our education content, teaching capabilities, courseware, and operations, and more importantly, our sterling brand image. Through our strengthening online merging offline model, we remain dedicated to providing diversified course offerings to K-12 student groups with superior learning experience to improve their academic performance and cultivate their interest in learning. With that, I would now turn the call over to our Vice President of Finance, Ms. Xun Wang, who will discuss key financial results.
Thank you, Joanne, and hello, everyone. In the fourth fiscal year, we promptly adjusted our operations in response to the COVID-19 epidemic and efficiently maintained our student base. In this quarter, our new enrollments decreased by 48% year-over-year because we started our course registration ahead of time, considering the early Chinese New Year holiday in 2020. Consequently, a considerable number of enrollments were recorded during the third quarter. The COVID-19 outbreak also impacted our enrollment for the quarter. As a result, total enrollments of the second half of fiscal year 2020 was relatively flat compared with the year-ago period. Despite the challenging situation due to COVID-19, we still achieved about 10% year-over-year revenue growth to RMB 71.0 million for the fourth quarter, while continuing our stringent cost control and optional optimization to improve our profitability. Although we will face uncertainties as the epidemic situation develops, we are confident in the long-term potential of the after-school education market in China. With our ever-strengthening online facility in place and a more integrated OMO system, we are able to attract an even wider and larger student demographic to study with us. Last but not least, our strong cash position and healthy balance sheet enables us to upgrade our online and offline facilities and make appropriate investments
with sufficient capital support. Now, I'd like to walk you through further details of our fourth quarter of fiscal year 2020 financial results. Revenue increased by 9.8% to RMB 71.1 million for the first quarter of fiscal year 2020 from RMB 64.7 million in the same period of last year, primarily attributable to the healthy ramp-up of new learning centers opened by the company during the fiscal year 2019 and expanded course offerings. Cost of revenue increased by only 0.6% to RMB 46.3 million for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2020 from RMB 46.0 million in the same period of last year. Gross profit increased by 32.4% to RMB 24.8 million for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2020 from RMB 18.7 million in the same period of last year. General and administrative expenses increased by 1.5% to RMB 39.8 million from the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2020 from RMB 39.2 million in the same period of last year. Impairment loss on intangible assets and goodwill was RMB 145.4 million for the first quarter of fiscal year 2020 compared to RMB 0.6 million in the same period of last year, mainly due to the decline in reporting unit's fair value. Sales and marketing expenses decreased by 15.0% to RMB 7.7 million for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2020 from RMB 9.1 million in the same period of last year, primarily attributable to the decrease of advertising due to the impact of COVID-19. Operating loss was RMB 168.2 million for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2020, compared with RMB 30.1 million in the same period of last year. Adjusted operating loss, which is calculated as operating loss excluding share-based compensation expenses and impairment loss on intangible assets and goodwill, was RMB 15.1 million for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2020, compared with RMB 20.4 million in the same period of last year. Other income net was RMB 4.9 million for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2020, compared with RMB 2.7 million in the same period of last year, primarily due to investment fair value changes. Income tax benefit was RMB 15.7 million for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2020, compared with RMB 8.1 million in the same period of last year, mainly from the tax effect of intangible asset impairment. Net loss was RMB 145.4 million during the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2020, compared with RMB 18.5 million in the same period of last year. Adjusted net loss, which is calculated as the net loss excluding share-based compensation expenses, fair value change of the company's investments, and impairment loss on intangible assets and goodwill net of tax effect, was RMB 4.7 million, compared with RMB 11.7 million in the same period of last year. Basic and diluted net loss per ADS attributable to ordinary shareholders for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2020 were both RMB 3.11, compared with both RMB 36 for the same period of last year. Adjusted basic and diluted net loss per ADS attributable to ordinary shareholders for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2020 were both RMB 7 cents, compared with both RMB 22 cents for the same period of last year. Cash and cash equivalents. As of February 29, 2020, the company had cash and cash equivalents of RMB 404.7 million, compared with RMB 439.6 million as of February 28, 2019. Looking forward, for the first quarter of fiscal 2021, the company expects to generate revenue in the range of RMB 55.7 million to RMB 60 million. The above outlook is based on the current market conditions and reflects the company's preliminary estimates of the market and operation conditions and the customer demand, which are all subject to change, particularly in consideration of uncertainties related to the COVID-19 outbreak, among others. This concludes my portion of prepared remarks. We will now open the call to questions. Operator, please go ahead.
To ask a question, you may press star then one on your touch-tone phone. If you are using a speakerphone, please pick up your handset before pressing the keys. To withdraw your question, please press star then two. At this time, we will pause momentarily to assemble our roster. Again, if you have a question, please press star then one. First question is from Joy Wei from 86 Research. Please go ahead.
Thanks for taking my question. My question is regarding the structural change of the after-school tutoring market. Could management share your views on the development of the online education market? Do you think online education will cannibalize the offline market? And what's your strategy to conform to this trend? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. First of all, let me clarify. What do you mean by, the change of the structure of the tutoring market? You mean the breakdown between online and offline?
Yeah, because online education market is growing very quickly, so it's like taking market share for the whole market.
Yeah, online tutoring has been growing very fast for years, especially for the past 2 years, and then the COVID-19 definitely accelerated such growth. But we believe the results, the quality is still very different, between online and offline. Taking this, COVID-19 as an example, many parents, realized that, the results, the effectiveness of offline is somewhat better, I would say, or at least they're very different from online. I think it's definitely, the online portion will catch up, but offline has its own strategy. And in our view, we believe the core essence of the education is the content, the faculty, which lead to the results of the tutoring. Online or offline is just a method. That is why we believe that this, the whole COVID-19 forced us to transform into an online, model. And we adapted to this change very quickly. For us, it's a challenge and opportunity as well. As we pointed out early on, that even that after we resume the offline facility delivery of coursework, we will still resume a significant portion of our delivery online. Going forward, online will be part of our business model too. We believe, online merge offline is what we will be good at, because we have the best content, we have the best faculty, and online and offline just are two means to reach students.
Yeah, that's helpful. And I have a follow-up question on your student acquisition strategy. So, what will do in the spring and also summer vacation period to acquire these students, considering that the spring semester is shortened? Yes.
If you know, online, the tutoring business is basically, in most cases, once a week. So it doesn't matter that the summer break is shortened, in a way. And for us, we heavily rely on word of mouth referrals. And the Four Seasons has already established a brand in Shanghai. As you may have noticed that historically, and which is still the case, that we have spent very little in marketing. All the students came up to us because of the word of mouth referral and because of our brand, which both is a testament to our teaching quality. So going forward, I think this is still will be the main channel of our student acquisition, which is, our brand awareness and the word of mouth referrals. But we also started to invest more in marketing and advertising. Previously, we almost invested nothing, spent nothing, but we are going to, and we are doing that. That we will cautiously increase our spending in advertising or in other marketing methods that will help us to acquire students effectively.
Right. Could you remind us the referral rate of the enrollment and also probably also in a retention rate?
Sorry, we don't disclose that publicly. You can schedule
okay.
a follow-up call with our RR, and we can later. And but we don't disclose those two metrics publicly for now.
Got it. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Again, if you have a question, please press star, then 1. As there are no further questions now, I'd like to turn the call back over to the company for any closing remarks.
Thank you once again for joining us today. If you have further questions, please feel free to contact Four Seasons Investor Relations through the contact information provided on our website or the Pearson Group Investor Relations.
This concludes this conference call. You may now disconnect your line. Thank you.